light language. What is it? How does it work? And how can you activate your own? We're going to talk about that in this video. Light language is the language of the soul. So even when your conscious mind doesn't know what's going on, your subconscious and your spirit are picking up on the messages. And light language comes in like these packets of information that unlock parts of our brain, parts of our DNA. It can clear blockages in the body, and it all comes in perfect timing. So sometimes it might unravel over the next few days or weeks or even months, but it activates your DNA on a very deep level, and with time, it begins to unlock. So light language can be a lot more effective than our words a lot of the time. We tend to box things in and label things, and it kind of shrinks that object from the totality of what it is into a finite thing. But the difference with light language is that it is a multi-dimensional language. And so in just a few tones or sound, so much more can be communicated. It is very multi-dimensional. The tones can be very healing and opening. Sometimes light language can come in like a packet of information, like a full download, even if it's just a few short phrases. Light language is a living transmission, so within it, it is infused with source frequency and consciousness. It begins to work with your individual body, your mind, and your spirit at the perfect time that you need. I have had some experiences with light language where, for example, there is a man and when I was giving him a light language healing, this warrior spirit came in and I was like, activate your warrior. Very warrior-like energy and activating that within him. Or for example, there is a woman and what channeled through me was, you come from a land of play, activate your play. And it was a very joyful, uplifting transmission. So light language can work very differently for different people. So we all just get what we need. There are many benefits to light language, and there are many ways that it can work. For one, it can clear your energy field, it can remove entities and attachments. There's been times where I'm kind of tinkering in someone's mind and like reorganizing and freeing up old stories to be cleared so that more of their higher self can flow through them. There's been times where I've grounded people's energies or brought up columns of light and protection around them. Light language can bring up old memories or parts of yourself or help you to remember the truth of who you are more than the limitations that we put on ourselves. I feel like the magic of light language is ever evolving and ever expanding, and the more that I do it, the more new things come in that I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and I start to understand what's happening. So now comes the question, how do you access your own light language? So I really truly believe that we all have this gift within us. It's really just about remembering what we once knew. When I first discovered light language, I thought that I didn't have what it takes to do it myself. I thought, oh, those people are special, they have special gifts, but I'm just a regular person and I don't really have what it takes. But really I discovered that what I admire in another person is really a part of myself that I have access to. So if you came to this video and you are drawn to this message, it is very likely that you will start to activate your own. And when you believe that and you truly see that it's coming for you, then you are allowing it to happen. An activation of light language can happen in many ways. For me, my light language came to me during a music festival. The energy of all the people dancing in joy and in play created this strong surge of energy, and my hands began to lift and move in these shapes and patterns that I've never experienced before. And it was almost like they were weightless and being carried by the wind. It was out of my conscious control, and then my voice started to move as well, and it went and it was very like this suction, like this tense, strong precision to my words. It was crazy to witness it happening, and this strong message came through to me that this is light language. Share it to as many people as you can. It hit me so strong, that message, that when I walked into the dance floor, people started to light up to me, and this message of talk to that person. And I was just being guided for hours on end that night towards different people that needed healing. And at first my skeptical mind was going off like, oh, this is just in my head, maybe these people don't actually experience anything. After giving these light language healings, and I asked them what their experience was, and I was able to see as my hands move and I did certain gestures and activations, I would see it in their eyes, and in just a few moments their entire presence was different. Light language can also be activated through offering light language. And I discovered this that very first night when I came up to a woman and I asked if she wanted a light language healing. And at first, as I was giving it to her, she was just dancing, looking around, looking at me like, okay, this is interesting. And then she closed her eyes and she went deep into this profound presence, and she began to move her hands and sing this beautiful language that wasn't like my own. I could see in my vision these columns of light language, kind of like the avatar tree of life, and so it is very possible that somebody else's light language can activate your own, because it really is just a part of us that we are coming back in contact to and remembering. So it may come to you in this way, or perhaps it may come to you in a medicine journey, or after a deep somatic release, or when you're just in the flow of something that you love to do, or dancing and singing are beautiful ways. And so the more that you allow your expression to come through without filtering yourself, the more that you open up the channel. Another thing that will help to activate your light language is doing Kundalini work or working with the chakras. As we clear these energy fields, we are allowing those downloads to pour through us, especially the throat chakra. That is where a lot of this will start to come through for you. Now, what does it feel like when you know that you are accessing light language? So when I first started practicing before this activation happened, I would just play around making random sounds, and it kind of felt like I was making it up a bit. But when light language comes through, it's almost like the words come through before the mind can make them up. And it feels like a very clicking into place. So even if you just try practicing it yourself and making up random sounds, and that will start to open up something for you, even if it doesn't make any sense or it doesn't sound like light language, it's okay. When it truly does come through, you will know it and you will feel it. For me, it really feels like this flow state, and I feel so connected to spirit. I feel like electricity through my body and a presence larger than my smaller thinking mind. As I practice this beautiful expression, I am constantly learning more and more. It guides me in ways that I never would have thought to work. It may highlight a blockage in the heart and bringing lightness there. There are so many different ways that it can work. And I love to watch other people's light language. There are many different types of light language. Even doing light language healings for each other, I have been given codes that are very different from my own. And we are able to help each other to rise together as we all have a unique code to offer. We are all fractals, spectrums of rainbows from source light. So everybody's expression is going to be unique. Well, I'm excited to hear more about your journey with light language. I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.